Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2026 Virtual University Degree and Information Fair. My name is Kristen Keogh-Raponi, and I'm an Academic Pathways Coordinator here at Seneca. Throughout this week, we have been hosting our partner institutions from around the globe who have been discussing pathway opportunities that are available to Seneca students after you have completed your Seneca diploma. With us for this session, we have Yasmin from Hartpury University, who will be talking about the fitness and health promotion to the Bachelor of Science Sports Performance top-up pathway. Please note that like all webinars this week, this session will be recorded and posted to our website and YouTube channel later this week. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please go ahead and put those in the chat, and we will take up all questions at the end of the presentation. And with that, I will now hand it over to you, Yasmin.
Thanks, Kristen. Hi, everyone. So I'm Yasmin. I'm at Hartpury University in the international team. So my job is to support students from Canada who are thinking of coming to study at Hartpury. We're also really lucky because we're joined by Michaela. Michaela, did you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, my name is Michaela. I'm a top-up student in the sports performance program, and I studied at Seneca a few years back.
Perfect, thank you so much. So I'm just going to present a few slides just about Hartpury University and the programme, and then at the end, Michaela will talk a little bit about her experiences, and also for any questions, or if you're watching this on a recording, I'm sure Michaela won't mind if you send her an email or a message with any questions that you do have. So let's move on to the presentation. So Hartpury University is a really special institution. So we are based in England in the United Kingdom, and we've been working with Seneca for a long time to promote this pathway as a really exciting opportunity to you. So we are a specialist institution, and we specialise in offering sports subjects. So we offer sports subjects as degree programmes at undergraduate and graduate level, and we also have 9 sport academies too. So if you're interested in playing sport competitively or even just recreationally for fun, Hartpury is a great place where you can combine that. So I'm here specifically to talk to you about a top-up programme that's available to you, and essentially it means that you can turn your 2-year college diploma into an internationally recognised UK bachelor's degree in just 1 year. So all you need to do is complete and pass 2 years of your fitness and health promotion diploma or your rec and leisure services diploma at Seneca, and you will be guaranteed entry onto our BSc with honours sport performance top-up programme. And what this means is that you will essentially fast track your degree. So rather than 2 more years of study in Canada, you will only need to study for 1 year, and you'll graduate with this full degree programme. And this degree can be used in the UK, it can be used in Canada, it can be used all over the world. So there's lots of benefits to that for you. And then essentially after you've done your 2 years in Canada, you'll come to Hartpury and you'll study for, it's actually 9 months in total, which is, it can seem scary as an option, but 9 months completely flies by too. So obviously, in terms of the benefits to you is that, as I mentioned, you're going to graduate faster. So 9 months of study in the UK to get your full bachelor's degree with honours rather than 2 more years in Canada. And that means that you can save time to do what you want to. So lots of students might take a gap year and then come to Hartpury and feel like they're not behind because you're only going to graduate in 1 year. You might want to come fast track to enter the job market a bit quicker, or maybe it's a way to fast track you to a master's programme in Canada or even in the UK. There's also the kind of cost element. So because you only have 9 months of living and tuition cost in the UK, as opposed to 2 more years in Canada, often students can find that whilst it's more to pay up front, they can see benefits of that over time. There's obviously a lot more to this experience than just getting your degree and saving time. It's the whole experience of studying abroad, which is so exciting. You will gain valuable skills that will enable you to stand out in the job market. And it's a very, very competitive job market, as we know, but your experience of studying and living in another country will offer you that experience that can set you apart and give you the edge on another candidate that might be going to the same job as you, as well as just giving you general life skills, confidence, the opportunity to meet new people, experience living in another country. It's just a fantastic opportunity. And as well as that, if you're interested in traveling, you can take advantage of the weekend trips that we run at Hartpury. For just £5, you can go and visit major cities in the UK. You can also look at traveling wider Europe. So lots of students in the holidays will look at going to Europe for some traveling, even on the weekend, because you can get flights really easily, about 45 minutes. Really affordable as well, and you can be in another country, so it's a great opportunity to travel as well if that's something that kind of piques your interest. And you'll get to meet people from all over the world as well, so we have students from 60 countries that will come to study at Hartpury, so not just from Canada. And often our students will say, like, it's amazing now, I've got friends from all across the world and I can go and visit them in the summer, and they've got plans to do that. So it's just an amazing opportunity. So Hartpury University, we're the Specialist University of the Year in 2026. We're really outstanding when it comes to sport. We invest all of our money into specifically sport facilities, so it means you get some great equipment for your course to use. We are a campus university, so we're rural, we're a really kind of safe community, beautiful campus, but we're just 10 minutes away from the city of Gloucester. But everything you need is in one kind of place as well, which makes for a really nice kind of campus feel. We also have a strong employability focus, so we have 11 businesses on site. These are real working businesses. We have our own sports therapy clinic, our own sports business hub, and our famous Gloucester Hartpury rugby venture as well. As well as that, we have our 9 sport academies, which have produced over 250 elite international athletes in recent years. So if you're interested in still playing competitively, we have a really outstanding programme where you can pursue both your sporting career and your academic career in one kind of timetable as well, and make sure that that's easy for you to manage. So in terms of where we are, so lots of our students have never been to the UK before when they come, or some might say that they've just been to London. We're in the southwest of England. We've got a really nice location because we're only an hour away from really big cities, but we're in a smaller kind of city, which is really nice for a lot of students. They don't have to worry about navigating across huge cities. Gloucester is a smaller city, and we have Hartpury is in a kind of rural setting, which is a lot of students like. But if you did want to go travelling to the bigger cities, it's so well connected. There's a train station in Gloucester, a bus station. We have our own shuttle service as well that takes students to and from the town centre. So, if you're wanting to as well explore other cities nearby, it's a really good location. We can get a direct train to London in just under 2 hours as well if you're wanting to go for the day. So I've just put in some photos of our sport academy, and all of our facilities, and I'll kind of skim through that. So there's only 3 anti-gravity treadmills in the UK, and we have one of them at our campus. Inside one of our biomechanics labs, we have an altitude chamber, human performance laboratories, sprint tracks, 3D motion capture, lots of gyms at Hartpury. This is our performance gym for our students on a sport academy. Sports nutrition kitchen for those on a sports academy. And then this is one of our real businesses on site, is our sports therapy suite. I'm here today to talk to you about the pathway that you will gain entry to after 2 years. So that is a BSc with honours sport performance top-up programme. So essentially how it works is you do your 2 years in Canada, and then you'll come and you'll study this degree for 9 months, and you'll graduate with the full degree. And to do that, you need to achieve 120 credits. So 60 of your credits are made up by your core modules, which is your applied research project and your professional development in sport. And then you will make up the remaining 60 credits with your elective modules, which are worth 15 credits each. So you can choose from our different modules which again, you can really kind of shape your interests. So if it's more biomechanics and kinesiology that you're interested in, there are modules for that. And also, if you're more interested in psychology or maybe the business side, you can really kind of tailor the degree to what you're interested in. And again, with the research project, you get a lot of support. So you'll get your own kind of academic mentor and personal tutor who will work closely alongside you with that. And in terms of the programme itself, later as well, Michaela, I'm sure, can tell you a bit more about the kind of different modules and maybe give some examples of the ones that she's chosen. The degree is quite similar to what you might know as kinesiology, but you don't see that listed in the elective modules just because it's not the same terminology that we use, but it's very similar to what we would know as kind of biomechanics as well. In terms of the degree, because it's so broad and you can shape it, lots of our students go on to various different roles after they graduate. So some might go into teaching, some might stay within the sports industry and work as performance analysts. Some will do facility and project management, and there's also an additional project management certificate that you can do kind of alongside that as well, if that's of interest to you. In terms of how the course is assessed, so often our Canada students will say like it's very different to what they're used to. So our students don't tend to hand in a piece of work each week. They instead will work on a majority coursework based programme, and they'll work to hand that coursework in what we call assessment weeks. So that can be a bit different to what you're used to, but a lot of the students kind of like it in that they can work on the work when they want to and then hand that in when it's ready on the assessment week. But you do get a lot of support with your academic mentor as well to kind of make sure that you're staying on track. It normally is consisting of 12 weeks of scheduled teaching over 2 semesters, and it is a mixture of assessment. So there's also written exams, practical exams, written assignments and presentations, but it is a majority 74% coursework based course. So moving on to the term dates. So again, these might be slightly different to what you're used to. So in the UK, the academic year runs from September to June. So our students, if they were to join us in September 26, they would be invited to come a little bit early to what we call our orientation weekend, which is essentially an early move-in, and it enables you to meet other international students. There'll be sessions over the weekend, things like practical things like registering with a doctor, setting up a bank account, touring Gloucester and the campus and so forth. You'll have your welcome week from the 14th of September. It's called Freshers Week in the UK. And then your classes would start from the 21st of September. And then you would go through, so you'd have 2 main holiday periods, which is a great opportunity for you to either go back home and see your family and your friends, or to travel. So we have an international society as well that can like organise. I know some of them have gone on trips to Europe in the holidays and things. So you can kind of do what you wish with that time. But you'll get 2 to 3 weeks over Christmas in December, and then the same in Easter at the end of March. And then your course usually ends, depending on which modules you've chosen and your assessment, your course will end in June, often at more towards the beginning of June. So it's only 9 months in duration. We offer accommodation on site and in the city. So you have the option to choose if you want your meals included, or if you don't. So there's lots of options. Most of our students want to be housed on site, just to make things a bit easier. But if you did want to live in the city, that is also an option. And we do have a shuttle bus service for that. Just to say, we do offer an all-inclusive package as well, again, which is quite popular. If you want to know like the total cost of your fees, your accommodation, your meals are included as well, and then extras like your airport transfers, that's all included as well. So you can choose that option, or you can pay your tuition and your accommodation separately if you would prefer to cook your own meals as well. You can do either. Again, just to mention, if you do play sport competitively, we have 9 sports academies that are shown on the screen. That is a separate application, but great if you want to continue playing competitively. But if you just want to play for fun as well, you can also do that through our student union. And just as I kind of reach the end of what my presentation, I just wanted to say it's a great opportunity and we encourage our students to make the most of it. So it's not just about kind of getting your degree program, it's also about kind of making the most of it, joining the trips, taking the opportunity to travel, see the UK, even wider Europe, join some societies and clubs, play sport, take advantage of the job opportunities that we have and the businesses that we have on campus to enhance your CV. And you'll hopefully find that it's a really worthwhile programme. And then you can even go on to study your master's in just 1 year as well, if you're that ambitious. So master's programs in the UK are only 1 year, whereas in Canada they're 2 years. So essentially, if you wanted to do two, you could do your undergraduate degree and your graduate degree in just 2 years, rather than an extra kind of 4 years, which will save you a lot of time. And then finally, just to kind of, I've listed the tuition on the screen, that's for 26 entry. It's worth noting it can change each year. So it's always worth checking back if you're looking at a different year. But this, you'll always be eligible for this as a Seneca graduate. So if you decide it's not something you want to do this year or maybe the following year, as long as you've done your 2 years at least, you'll always be eligible to apply for this. And just to say as well, like the price looks really scary and I understand that. But again, it's just worth weighing up, it's more upfront, but it's a shorter duration, it's a whole experience in itself. A lot of our Canadian students will use OSAP to fund a lot of the study. So we are OSAP accredited, so you can apply OSAP to that. And then just to support you with your costs, we have some concessions. So this year we're offering a pathway award, so you'll automatically receive a discount on your tuition fees of £4,000, and then you can apply for further scholarships that we have. So for this year, there's a 50% tuition fee scholarship, and further sports scholarships as well. But I'm going to kind of stop talking because I really wanted Michaela just to talk a bit about her experience before we kind of end the session. So Michaela, I was wondering kind of what made you decide to do the program in the end? What was your kind of main motivator to come to Hartpury?
Yeah, so I originally graduated from Seneca in 2020, and I originally wanted to come right away for that following year, but COVID hit, and that kind of deterred me from it. So I ended up working in Canada for a couple of years, and Hartpury like stuck in the back of my mind the whole time. So I reached out to Yasmin on a whim to see if I was still eligible, because I remember them mentioning that in the presentation, and she got back to me right away, and the process from there was pretty simple.
Amazing. Yeah, that's so great. Because yeah, exactly. Like if you decide maybe this is not something you want to do now, you can take some time to figure it out and then you are still eligible to apply. So yeah, definitely. And how I know like it must have seemed like a really kind of scary experience. Do you feel like um how did you find like the support in coming to Hartpury? And I know you attended the orientation program as well. Did you find that kind of helpful in settling you in? Because I know it's really scary to think about leaving home.
Yeah, it definitely was nerve-wracking, but honestly, I've always wanted to travel, and I know a lot of Canadians do want that as well, especially like this generation, my generation. Everyone wants to see everything, so I was probably more excited and nervous to say, but that first initial orientation week was a lot. Definitely helped a ton. You meet people from everywhere, you make friendships, it's just a different type of connection. So you kind of already have a friend group before you even enter into the actual academic year, which was awesome. Like it was a great start.
Yeah, yeah, that's really good because that's really what we wanted is just the opportunity for you to make friends just like from the get-go. So I'm glad you found that helpful. Um, and I know that how are you finding the actual program? Because I know that the assessment of the program, like a lot of students say it's really different to what they're used to. Like I wondered if you'd mind kind of saying about program itself and how you're finding it.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely different. It still has that practical and academic feel to it as you would get at the colleges back home. Obviously, it's a university, so it's a little bit more theory based, but you do get a lot of that practical element of it. Um, it was a bit of a learning curve, I would say, at the very beginning, but it was a nice kind of, it kind of adds to your skills, I would say. So I learned academic skills here, but I never would have probably learned at a university back home. It's very much academic paper kind of based. So you are learning how to kind of be a professional and enter into your profession prepared. It really prepares you for that new, like that next level, which is really awesome. The practical elements are very much taught by professors who are from the workforce. So they're people who've worked with professional athletes, with professional clubs, and they really do bring their experience there. And it helps you kind of set up to be successful in that field, which I found really comforting.
Yeah, that's great. And had you been to the UK before you came to Hartpury?
I actually haven't. So I've been to a bit of Europe, but I've never been to the UK. So it definitely was
Okay.
different.
Yeah.
The roads still scare me. I haven't tried to drive. I'm not gonna lie, but I will be soon. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's everything. We're really close to Wales as well, which is really awesome, very beautiful. So there's a lot to see, which is really
Yeah,
cool.
I was going to say, have you managed to do a little bit of traveling in your spare time and see
Yeah,
some different places? Yeah.
yeah. I've been to London quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie. I go probably every other weekend.
Oh, do
See
you?
friends over there. Yeah, I have a couple friends over there.
Oh,
I get
oh,
to
that's
see
really
them.
nice. Do you
Yeah,
just get the
but
train?
yes. So
Yeah.
the train is less than 2 hours. It's an hour 40, and it's honestly it's great. They're comfortable. You can do your work on the trains. You head over there,
Yeah.
and you can head back, no problem. There's a lot of hours like running trains. But yeah, as you were speaking about the Easter break, I am planning to see all of the UK. So I'm going to do a little road trip across the UK, which is something I've always wanted to do. So that's also something to kind of cross off.
That's awesome. That sounds so exciting. And yeah, it's really good to hear, like, just make the most of it. And I also just wanted to say, like, finally, if there are any Seneca students watching this recording and maybe they're not sure about this experience, is there any kind of anything you'd like to say to them or any advice that you might like to give them as a Seneca graduate?
Yeah, I would say if it piques your interest, definitely look into it. As she was saying, as Yasmin was saying, it's 1 year. It might be a little bit heavier than we're used to, but think about it. You're getting that 2 years of education in that 9 months, and then you can get your master's right away if you want. So it is quite fast tracked. And honestly, it really helps you develop yourself as a professional and as an individual. You really learn a lot about yourself when you're in a country by yourself. And if you're worried about being alone, you're not alone. There's a lot of international students, along with just great professors around. I've created like, really great bonds with a lot of my lecturers, and it's been a great experience so far.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. Yeah, that's brilliant. And also, just finally, sorry, what are your kind of plans to do when you graduate? Like, do you have a career like in mind that do you want to go back to what you were doing before, or do you want to do some traveling, get a master's? Do you have a plan yet? Or
So I'm still toying with the idea of the Masters because I
okay.
have been helping out with the football women's team with their coaching, and there's a
Oh,
bit of a connection there, so that's a possibility. But my goal would say I want to become a sports scientist. I always have been, and there's no courses back home at all that kind of allow you to link directly towards that like very specific programs. So I'm looking to stay in London for at least a year, a couple years to work with a hopefully with a professional women's team as a sports scientist.
oh, that sounds brilliant. Amazing. Yes, and you can. So, also a common question I get is can students stay after they graduate? And yes, they can. So, you can get a graduate visa that allows you to stay for 2 years after you graduate. And then as well, like hopefully, if you want to stay even longer, you could look at trying to get a job that will give you sponsorship as well. So, even beyond that 2 years. So, that's definitely an option. Oh, thanks so much, Michaela. That was so interesting to hear about your experiences. Um, Yeah, so Kristen, I think that's everything from us, unless there's anything else you wanted to ask
That's
or add.
great. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful presentation. You have a beautiful campus, and it sounds like a really
Thank
great
you.
opportunity for students. And thank you, Michaela, for sharing your experience. I think students will really find that beneficial. So students can reach you. We do have your contact info up on our website. So they can reach out to you there, or they can also reach Academic Pathways by email or book a virtual appointment, and we can help you with all of your pathway options. Thank you both so much. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.